their CIA agents to talk about it. This is a deception within the deception. When they know truth is coming out, they delay the truth. Then they have their agents talk about it and then scuttlebutt it away. Meanwhile, nothing changes. I mean, you have Mark Zuckerberg openly telling us, yeah, I was brutalized. I couldn't do anything. They told me, fuck you. Fuck you. You couldn't do anything. I did something.
Hmm.
So you see, it's like the alcoholic who used to come and beat the woman and say, oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I'm an alcoholic. I won't do it again. Now the alcoholic saying, I'm an alcoholic. I will beat you and it will happen again.
Hmm.
And you just have to accept it. That's what's going on. Yeah, we censor you and we will continue to censor you. And we're the victims. So we live in an age of serious fucking deception. Deception within deception.
Yeah.
So Jay Bhattacharya, another fucker, he was the one who was promoting lockdowns in 2020 as a systems biologist, as one of the leading guys on the immune system. And I've written papers in all the biggest journals in the world. I was the one in March of 2020, the first scientist, for that matter, I think the first person ever said, hey, these lockdowns are bullshit. You can support people with vitamin D3. I gave a protocol that Zelenko basically stole and started marketing. We gave it away to people. So Kennedy was promoting lockdowns. Jay Bhattacharya wrote a paper promoting lockdowns. And then I was the one who created the Fire Fauci campaign. We delivered 120,000 signatures to Trump to say, fire this guy. Then they created this group of swarm creatures to act like they're in opposition. You see, this is what they're doing now, Matt. They watch when independent people come from below to lead movements and bring out the truth. They have to suppress that. They cannot have independent inventors, leaders, or truth tellers. This is what the key is. This is what I uncovered. If they have their own people that they anoint to tell the truth, that's cool. But they don't want independent people from below getting the limelight or telling the truth and building independent movements. That's uncontrollable. So what you've seen,
Well, do
this
you
is
think?
highly orchestrated.
Well, it's along the concept of like controlled opposition, right? We use that word often, controlled opposition, controlled opposition. And I
Yeah.
often think, if you are controlled opposition, do even the people that are controlled know that they are controlled opposition? For example, some people may start talking on the internet and they start getting views, and you get a lot of views if you talk about certain topics, so you talk about it more. You lose views if you hit certain topics or you take certain stances, so you stop taking those stances. And even the person that may be the controlled opposition, they themselves may not know that they are the controlled opposition. How deep does this rabbit hole really go?
Well, I think so. One of the things, Matt, to answer this, there's an entire field of science called systems dynamics.
Hmm.
It was developed in the 1920s. I used to teach it at MIT. System science. Systems dynamics has a goal. There's 9 fundamental principles. It comes out of engineering systems here. I'm not going to go into it, but
Hmm.
in our movement, we teach this to people. The elites understand systems dynamics, and they use it to control. They watch which directionally, which way things are going. Then they can tweak an input into a system and to bring it back into alignment. Palantir, you talked about them. They're the sensor in the system.
Hmm.
There's 9 fundamental principles of any systems: a goal, a controller, input, output, transport, conversion, storage, and a sensor. Okay, it's how an airplane maintains its velocity or its speed, but it's very fundamental to engineering. Systems dynamic is now a field. George Soros, I don't know if people know, he was one of the big leaders in reflectivity theory. It's a big field. They teach it at Kennedy School of Government. The CIA learns it. All these people understand it. Henry Kissinger knew it. Using systems dynamics, you can manipulate people. You can use it to make sure your thermostat stays proper, right?
Hmm.
It's a fundamental engineering science. One aspect of systems dynamics, and one video that you should put in your links is called shattertheswarm.com. You may have seen it.
Hmm.
Shattertheswarm.com. It took me 50 years to do that little Blackboard video in 15 minutes, but it explains the fundamental principles of how these work. It explains that the system, their goal is to make sure, Matt, that you and I never break free and build independent movements. Okay?
Hmm.
That's the goal. Okay? That's the fundamental goal. If you break free from the Democrats and Republicans and you build a bottoms up independent movement and you start leading people, they don't want that. if you're Booby fucking Kennedy and you're talking some Maha bullshit, or you're Bernie fucking Sanders acting like, you know, you're against H1B, he's the anointed one.
Hmm.
He's totally fucking full of shit. He's never going to do anything for workers, nor is Booby fucking Kennedy going to do anything for health. So the swarm, as I call it, their immune system is when they see an independent leader like myself coming from below, exposing election fraud, exposing the backdoor portal to Twitter, exposing the lockdowns, they automatically must create their controlled people through who they can control these narratives.
Hmm.
Okay, so they make sure the school of fish are following them, and then they corral people back into the establishment. This is basic 101 control systems theory. Now, so they have clearly people that they've struck deals with. Then you have other morons and grifters, opportunists, who sort of follow them. Oh, I'm getting locked out because I said something against fucking Zionism, right?
Hmm.
Those are sort of the sheeple within that controlled opposition.
Hmm.
But people like Booby fucking Kennedy, he knows what the fuck he's doing. People like fucker Carlson, he's consciously fucking CIA.
Hmm.
Elon Musk, he knows what the fuck he's doing. Bernie fucking Sanders, he knows what he's doing. He voted 97% of the time with Hillary Clinton.
Hmm.
He comes out, oh, I'm against the H-1B, I support workers. Really? You fucking never worked a day in your life.
Hmm.
Next day, he's hugging Hillary Clinton, right? So the Mossad, Swarm, CIA model has an array of these people. Tulsi Gabbard, they brand her, she's anti-war. Come on. She was all out for bombing the fuck out of Iran after 9/11. She was all out for destroying Palestine, right?
And now a
Vivek
proponent of Section 702, when she said she was against it, now she's for it.
Yeah. So she's a whore, okay? You can go look at her parents, her history, everything. These people are whores. That's what we should call them. They are created. They have like an entire farm league, a minor league of these people. Vivek the Snake is a fucking doofus. He's part of that swarm. They have a dossier on him. Yale, Harvard pedigree. I mean, that guy was a fucking nerd. People used to throw him down the hallway because he was a fucking doofus, right? He then decides to become a rapper, you know? He's your typical Brahmin bullshitter. You know, I come from the lower caste in India. You won't find a lot of Indians like me here. The Brahmins who came here from India will suck all day long. And the Brahmin Hindus are totally aligned with Christian Zionism. All right? They're no different because they believe a small set of people are better than everyone else. The concept of chosen people. So makes so much sense that they got this fool, Vivek the Snake. Complete bullshitter. He's never invented anything. Him and his mom did a completer analysis, which is one of the most fucked up things you can do in pharmaceutical clinical science to revamp a failed drug to make it sound good. Then he gets overnight put on all the big, CNBC shows to hype up a stock. That doesn't happen accidentally. He has his Yale and Harvard network who makes that happen. This is fucking insider trading. The guy should be in fucking jail. Right? But we have created, as never before, consolidation of power. And now with Palantir and data, they can see, wow, Dr. Shiva just did that video calling people suckers. South Park did a version of it overnight. You see? Let's adopt that. But then quell it down. So they have this down to a science. Oh my God, this guy figured out the backdoor portal into Twitter. He's the one who figured it out, and he's letting everyone know. Oops, let's give that credit to fucker Carlson or Glenn Greenwald or our anointed ones, you see? Because they are part of their controlled swarm. Then the other idiots just follow to answer your question. But this is systems dynamics 101. So when I realized this is why when I created our movement, I said every human being must learn system science. That's why Shatter the Swarm video is so compelling. There are people who watch that fucking video 100 times. They go, holy shit. I am giving people how they do the control mechanisms. And it's not accidental, man. It is highly organized. Places like MIT, the Kennedy School of Government, Yale, Stanford are the centers of behavioral psychology and system science. They are understanding this. They can put quantities on it, directionally, to decide, shit, we need someone in this field right now. this guy's getting way too much play. This is why when I first got back on Twitter, I said, Elon, I will become your CEO. I'm the inventor of email. Got a bunch of degrees. That, if you look at that tweet, it got 20 million views. I was getting 10 million views a day. Right after that, I said, Elon, are you going to remove the backdoor portal into Twitter? I started hammering him. My views went from 1 million or 10 million views a day down to 10,000. That's censorship fucking 10.0.
Yeah.
And he's a fucking dirtbag. He is not for free speech. He is SpaceX, $7 billion, right? From government subsidies at minimum. Section 230 immunity is why Twitter has a high valuation, because they're not deemed a publishing company, but a social media platform, which gets 10x on multiple of revenue, not 2x. And all these fucking Silicon Valley pricks who suddenly started supporting Zionist Trump, because they're all a bunch of fucking Zionists. So you have Elon Trump Inc., which is about creating a technocratic Zionist state. And the Democrats, they're not, the left has left. They were never in opposition. They completely imploded. So it's beyond a unified party. It's fucking total fascism. That's where we're headed.
I mean, the two-party uni-party was never really a thing because it's been one party the entire time.
Always. It was always. I call it the not so obvious establishment. So the way the two-party system worked is, if you think about a bird, which represents the swarm, the elite, which is not any one people, it's a decentralized, multiracial aristocracy. They have two shoulders, the Democrats and the Republicans, the obvious establishment. But Matt, they had to create the wings. A bird can't fly without the wings. So they created the left wing. Bernie Sanders, would come out, they put him out, or, Jill Stein, these fools who come out and say blah, 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 some radical shit, or AOC. The right wing. The right wing, after the Tea Party imploded, had a vacuum. That's why they needed Trump. Trump came up with MAGA because they needed to manipulate the white working class back into the establishment, right? 57% of people voted for Trump, if you remember, voted for Obama. And after 8 years, after Obama gave all of his support to the big banks, they needed a white guy to manipulate the white working class back into the establishment. The bottom line is they do not want people building bottoms-up movements.
Thanks for watching the clip. If you want to see the full episode, click here. If you want to see more clips, click here.